Good morning, everyone. I'm Megyn Kelly. It's Friday, May 30th, 2025, and this is your AM Update.
When I walked in the room, I got complete anxiety. Like my entire body was shaking.
A witness in the Sean Diddy Combs trial speaks out as a former assistant and alleged victim takes the stand, recounting multiple instances of violence. Secretary of State Marco Rubio announces a crackdown on Chinese foreign nationals in the U.S. on student visas.
Of all the things that have surprised me in the close to now 3 months I've been here is the depravity of Jim Comey.
FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino slams former FBI Director James Comey over a social media post. All that and more coming up in just a moment on your AM Update. I would like to introduce you to a new brand of Angus beef. You can order it directly from Riverbend Ranch, which is located just a few miles from West Yellowstone, Montana. Riverbend Ranch raises their cattle a lot differently than most ranches. For example, they never use artificial growth hormones or antibiotics. They track the health of every animal from the day it is born and can guarantee that it has been healthy every day of its life. And they handle their animals humanely and with respect. But most important is the quality of the beef. You'll find it as tender and flavorful as the finest restaurants. And that's because they have spent the last 35 years selecting cattle for tenderness and flavor, aging their beef to perfection for 21 days. The result is some of the most tender and flavorful beef you have ever tasted. You cannot buy beef like this in a grocery store, and since it is shipped directly from the ranch to your home, you get a much better price than going through the middlemen. Order directly from riverbendranch.com. Use promo code Megyn to get $20 off your first order. That's riverbendranch.com, code Megyn. And be prepared. Once you taste it, you're going to be coming back for more. Again, that's riverbendranch.com, code Megyn. On Thursday, in the Sean Diddy Combs trial, an alleged victim of Combs, going by the pseudonym Mia, taking the stand. The jury is aware of Mia's real identity, though that information remains under seal. Mia worked for Combs as a former assistant and director of development and acquisitions for Revolt Films, describing the work environment as, quote, chaotic. It was toxic. It could be exciting. The highs were really high and the lows were really low. Mia continuing, quote, he's thrown things at me. He's thrown me against the wall. He's thrown me into a pool. He's thrown an ice bucket on my head. Mia testifying to working long hours, going days in a row without sleep, staying up with the assistance of an extended-release ADHD medicine, eventually leading to a physical breakdown. The jury looking at a list of Mia's job responsibilities, including always staying within Combs's eyesight while on duty, unless he advised otherwise. Mia saying she was not allowed to leave Combs's house without permission, nor was she allowed to lock her door when she stayed in his homes. Combs would often berate her and threaten her job. The witness saying she developed a close relationship with star witness Cassie Ventura. Mia describing Ventura's relationship with Combs as toxic, saying Combs always made the final decisions regarding Ventura's career. Mia saying Combs would dictate when and where she was allowed to hang out with Ventura, saying she was supposed to be keeping tabs on Ventura. The witness testifying that if they did something without Combs's permission, quote, punishment was typically unpredictable, but pretty terrifying. Mia testifying she often witnessed abuse in the Ventura-Combs relationship, describing an incident previously addressed in court by Ventura. Mia was with Ventura and stylist Deontay Nash, who has also testified, at Ventura's apartment when Combs showed up angry and began attacking Ventura. Mia thought Combs was going to kill Ventura. The witness saying, quote, me and Deontay immediately jumped in and tried to stop it. We were both just trying to get him off of her. At some point, he had Deontay in a position where I was scared he was going to kill him, and I jumped on his back. He threw me against the wall so quick and so easily, and I realized we were in real danger. The violence ending with Combs slamming Ventura's head on the bed frame, splitting open her forehead just above her eyebrow. The witness attesting to many more instances of violence by Combs, saying she did not report any of them to the police because she, quote, believed that Puff's authority was above the police. This was a period where years and years before social media or Me Too or any sort of example where someone had stood up successfully to someone in power such as him. Mia recounting that Combs sexually assaulted her multiple times while she was his employee, saying she was first victimized by him just a few months after she began working for him in 2009 at his birthday party held at a Plaza Hotel penthouse. Combs allegedly calling Mia into the kitchen, clearing out everyone else. Mia says he told her she was doing a great job. He then poured each of them 2 shots of alcohol. The shots affecting Mia more than usual, she said, and shortly afterward, saying Combs began kissing her and placing his hand up her dress. Mia testifying that the next thing she remembers is waking up in a chair in the meeting room of the penthouse, unable to remember how she got there. Mia describing another night waking up in her room in Combs's LA house with, quote, the weight of a person on top of me. The witness testifying to feeling, quote, terrified and confused and ashamed and scared, telling prosecutors through sobs that she did not want to have sex with Combs. Mia says she never told Ventura about it. Her testimony will continue later today. Exotic dancer Sharay, the Punisher, Hayes, speaking out on Wednesday to CNN about his role in the so-called Freakoffs and his experience in the Combs trial. Last week, Hayes testifying that he was originally hired to dance for a bachelorette party at the Trump International Hotel. When Hayes arrived there, he was greeted by Ventura, who had booked the dance under a fake name. Hayes testifying that Ventura asked if he would be comfortable creating a sexy scene for her husband to watch, with the husband being Combs. Hayes saying he was paid $2,000 for the encounter, going on to participate in 8 to 12 more sessions with Ventura and Combs, never witnessing any kind of violence. Hayes here describing to CNN how it felt inside the courtroom.
I thought going into it, I was pretty prepared and confident, but literally when I walked in the room, I got complete anxiety. Like my entire body was shaking. Whatever I envisioned or what I thought, because obviously you can't see anything, it was the tension and the magnitude of the moment was much, much deeper. So it was to some degree terrifying. Like I just could not, whatever I envisioned, it was just so much more that I was not mentally prepared.
Throughout testimony, Hayes describing many interludes with Ventura, asked by CNN whether he had any with Combs during the so-called freak-offs, Hayes responding,
No, actually, not one conversation, not even eye contact.
Really?
Yeah.
Did that surprise you?
Well, it was told to me immediately, like on the first encounter, that I was instructed to not look at him, not acknowledge him, not have any interaction.
On the question of what he would say to Ventura now, if given the opportunity, Hayes responding,
I would apologize because I had no idea, no indication what she was going through. And if, obviously my involvement kind of furthered her suffering, so just me knowing that as a man, being raised by a single mom and a grandma, just the thought of partaking in a scenario where a woman is possibly being abused is tough to hear. So, I would just apologize to her and, tell her that I was really remorseful and regret if I contributed to a bad experience for her.
Coming up, the State Department announcing a crackdown on Chinese student visas. And FBI Deputy Director Dan Bongino slams former FBI Director James Comey over a social media post. It was not supposed to get this bad. You were on top of your bills and then inflation hit. Been there. Groceries, gas, everything shot up, and now prices are up 26% from just a few years ago. 26%. It's not necessarily your fault if you have fallen into debt. Let me share a smarter, faster, far easier way out of debt. It's called Done With Debt, and they are not like other debt relief companies. They don't push loans or bankruptcy on you. Done With Debt has legendary negotiators who go head-to-head with your credit card and loan companies. They have one goal, to drastically reduce or eliminate your debt altogether. They move lightning fast. Most clients see more money in their pocket month one. But a word to the wise, hurry, because some of their debt erasing strategies are time sensitive. Consider talking to a Done With Debt strategist before you make another bill payment. It's free. Visit donewithdebt.com. That's donewithdebt.com, donewithdebt.com. Secretary of State Marco Rubio announcing on Wednesday that the U.S. will begin aggressively revoking visas of Chinese students, including those with connections to the Chinese Communist Party or who are studying in critical fields. Secretary Rubio did not define critical fields. Many CCP party officials send their children to study at American universities, including Chinese President Xi Jinping. His daughter graduating from Harvard in 2014, with few aware of her true identity during her time there, according to the New York Times. A report published by the State Department and the nonprofit Institute of International Education says about 277,000 Chinese nationals studied in America during the 2024 academic year. 277,000, the second largest group of international students after India. According to the Assistant DHS Secretary Tricia McLaughlin, China accepting just 800 U.S. students in the same time period. In response to Rubio's announcement, a spokesperson for the Chinese Foreign Ministry saying, quote, "The U.S. uses ideology and national security as a pretext to revoke Chinese student visas. It is fully unjustified." The spokesman continuing on to say, quote, "This politically motivated and discriminatory move exposes the U.S. hypocrisy over freedom and openness. It will further damage the image and reputation of the U.S. itself." In 2018, then FBI Director Christopher Wray answering a question in a Senate Intel hearing from then-Senator Rubio about the counterintelligence risk posed by Chinese students.
I think in this setting, I would just say that the use of non-traditional collectors, especially in the academic setting, whether it's professors, scientists, students, we see in almost every field office that the FBI has around the country. It's not just in major cities, it's in small ones as well. It's across basically every discipline. And I think the level of naivete on the part of the academic sector about this creates its own issues. They're exploiting the very open research and development environment that we have. It's not just the intelligence community, but it's raising awareness within our academic sector, within our private sector as part of the defense.
In February, the House Committee on Homeland Security releasing a report outlining more than 60 cases of Chinese Communist Party espionage on U.S. soil from 2021 to 2024, several of the suspects linked to U.S. universities. FBI Director Kash Patel and Deputy Director Dan Bongino in tight-lipped interviews this week on Fox News, revealing some new threads in high-profile investigations, teasing information but offering few details. Earlier this week, Bongino announcing the FBI is ramping up investigations into 3 high-profile cases, the January 6th pipe bomber, the Dobbs leak, and the cocaine found in the White House during President Biden's term.
We got a fascinating tip on one of these cases, one of the 3. I don't want to say which one, but I'm pretty confident that we're going to close out one of them hopefully shortly. The place has taken a reputational hit. There is zero question about it. We had to fix it and rebuild public trust. One of the ways to do it is these cases of significant public interest that matter. You know, we had 2 pipe bombs planted on January 6th, and no one seemed to show any interest in this case. The second we got in, I put a team on it, and I said, I want answers on this. And I'm pretty confident that we're closing in on some suspects.
Patel and Bongino last week drawing criticism from many by definitively saying disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein did kill himself without providing any supporting evidence. Bongino announcing Thursday that new video footage will be made public eventually.
There is video. That is something the public does not.
There's video of him killing himself.
No, not the actual act, but the entire MCC Bay. It was only one camera. There's video that when you look at the video, and we will release, that's what's taken a while on this. We are working on cleaning it up to make sure you have an enhanced, and we're going to give the original so you don't think there were any shenanigans. You're going to see there's no one there but him. Right. There's just nobody there. So I say to people all the time, if you have a tip, let us know. But there's no DNA, there's no audio, there's no fingerprints, there's no suspects, there's no accomplices, there's no tips, there is nothing. If you have it, I'm happy to see it. There's video clear as day. He's the only person in there and the only person coming out. You can see it.
Bongino stopping short of naming a specific date by which the footage would be released. Both Patel and Bongino slamming former FBI Director James Comey for wading into politics by posting a picture on his social media of seashells arranged to resemble the numbers 8647, 86 being a common reference to killing and 47 a likely reference to President Trump. Comey denying across multiple media appearances promoting his new thriller novel that he had any idea that 86 could refer to killing, saying he just thought it meant canceling or removing something. In the wake of the incident, many Comey supporters posting similar 8647 messages to their own social media. On Wednesday, Director Patel warning the trend is pulling FBI resources away from real threats.
Do you know how many copycats we've had to investigate as a result of that beachside venture from the former director?
Is that right?
Do you know how many agents I've had to take offline from chasing down child sex predators, fentanyl traffickers, terrorists? Because everywhere across this country, people are popping up on social media and think that a threat to the life of the President of the United States is a joke and they can do it because he did it. That's what I'm having to deal with every single day. And that's what I'm having to pull my agents and analysts off because he thought it was funny to go out there and make a political statement.
On Thursday, Deputy Director Bongino going a step further.
Of all the things that have surprised me in the close to now 3 months I've been here is the depravity of Jim Comey. This man is a disgrace to the badge, the FBI, and the country. We have wasted countless man hours now running out tips to our tip line about people putting 8647 because of Jim Comey, because he cannot control himself and his emotions. He is a child. He is a big child.
And that'll do it for your AM update. I'm Megyn Kelly. Join me back here for the Megyn Kelly Show, live on SiriusXM Triumph Channel 111 at noon East, on youtube.com/Megyn Kelly, and on all podcast platforms.